I'm looking for a present for somebody very special in the wood stack. I mean, who wouldn't like a lovely log, right? I'm hoping that this will do. I think it's the apple wood that we saved from a friend's orchard. Anyway, it turns easily, and there are some interesting stains and cracks in it. So I thought you might like to see the way I turn these little pots with a close-fitting lid. There's a sequence to it which makes things easy and fast. The first step is to turn down one end so it fits in a chuck. Then I replace the drive stock with the chuck and tighten the timber into it. That way it can be driven from just one end, but I still use the tailstock whenever I can to keep things stable, because it's a lovely old lathe, but it's a bit wobbly. Next, I start on the lid. Starting from a smaller diameter, I cut away a step, and then I hollow out the inside of the lid with a bit of sandpaper to finish. And then I cut away the rough lid from the rest of the stock. Now I can work on the body of the pot, taking some out of the middle with a gouge that I made from an old chainsaw file. The trick is to keep fitting the top into the hole you're making to see if it's the right size. This is a bit too tight still, but it only needs a whisker off. Along the way you can finish the inside to whatever shape you want, but because the file I'm using is a bit flimsy, I can't go very deep. Now the lid fits and the inside is finished. The lid needs holding on lightly with the tailstock. And now the outside can be shaped. This is the great part of this method. The pot and the lid get shaped together at the same time, so they should always match. I cut away a bit too much near the bottom. You can see the light coming through, but it should be fine. A bit of sandpaper to finish, and it's nearly done. Now, this is where I screw up completely. I thought I'd use Danish oil as a nice finish. How silly am I? It goes on easily enough, and it looks pretty good too. It dries pretty quickly, and before I knew what was happening, it had glued the top on to the pot, and I couldn't get it off at all. Oh man. So I had to start all over again, and this one went much quicker because I wasn't trying to film each stage. The whole thing took about 20 minutes. I think it looks a bit better too, so it turned out fine in the end. This time, when it came to finishing, I used some of my homemade beeswax polish instead, and it didn't glue up the top. This time I can also show more clearly finishing the very top. That's another chainsaw file, this time the very thin end, sharpened up a bit. The tailstock is holding the lid on, so as it comes out of the way I need to hold the lid on with some sandpaper, and now it can be finished smoothly from the very top. All done! Now I just need to think of something nice to put in it while Sandra's busy with something else. Bye, see you later.